Hello everyone. This is a video lecture for College Algebra Math 1314 Section 2.3. We're going to be talking about lines and slopes and stuff. So let's start with this little problem here. We got 2 points and it says find the slope. Well, you need a formula for that. So little m, your slope, is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And you can use either one of these as x1, y1, x2, y2. You can flip those and have this as 2's and 1's. It doesn't matter as long as you keep them together. And so the same, that is. So we got y2, I'm going to use a 2. y1 will be a 3. I got x2 as a 5, and then minus a negative 3. So I got a negative 1 at the top. 2 negatives make a positive 8, and we're done. That's the end of that problem. That was it. So expect to get fractions. Let's talk about what slope looks like a little bit. So positive slope means that you're going up as you're going from left to right. You're going up, so this is positive slope. Negative slope, like what we have here, mean that you're going down. So this is negative slope. We have zero slope, would be flat. Zero slope. And then finally, you might have a vertical line once in a while, and this would be called undefined slope, just undefined. Cool. So let's keep on cruising. Number 2, they give me a slope, they give me a point. They say find the point slope form of the line. And so what they're wanting to do is this y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. That's your formula. We're going to plug it all in, and there we go. So y minus the 7 is equal to negative 8, because this is little m, by the way. This is x1, this is y1. If that wasn't obvious, there you go now. And then x minus a negative 8. We need to simplify a tiny bit, and that means the 2 negatives will make a positive, wherever you see that. And on your program, your homework program, that's it, and you're done. That's done for part A. That's what they wanted. So yes, oh, sorry, another parentheses there. Yes, we're simplifying, but not a lot. They want to keep it in that format. This is one of those commonly missed problems because a lot of us want to just keep on simplifying. I totally understand and agree, but this is what they want for part A. Part B now, you can go ahead and simplify for reals. And what they mean by slope-intercept form is the y equals mx plus b. And so, well, let's do that. I'm going to just basically take this and keep on simplifying. Distribute your negative 8, and so we get y minus 7 is equal to negative 8x minus 64. I'm going to add the 7 to both sides, and so then you get y equals negative 8x minus, and again, it's always better to use a calculator just to make sure that you're not doing it wrong. Negative 57. There you go. And that's what they want for part B of this problem. Notice that I have the y equals included. That's also another small tidbit that we need there. Okay, so you might have seen this stuff before. Y equals mx plus b is a very common thing. Slope and your y-intercept and all that stuff. We'll be using this here later to graph, but for now we're just working through the problems. So, next one. It says, write out the line equations now for 2 points. This is identical to the last problem where they have a part A and a part B, but now we have these 2 points, so we have to basically, for a moment, we have to go to the side and find out what our slope is. And so I'm going to use my slope formula to be able to find that. Let's do 10 minus the negative 2, and then I've got my 4 minus a negative 4. So 2 negatives make a positive, 2 negatives make a positive. And we can simplify this down a little bit. And your calculator will simplify these fractions for you. Desmos Scientific, not just graphing, but Scientific will definitely do this as well. So up to you. 3/2 just to make sure I'm doing it right. Now, I shouldn't box it because we're just using it. So that's my slope. We're now going to go and find my equations. Now you can use either one of these for your x1 and y1. This is obviously going to be easier, but I'm going to do this because I want to show you something again. So y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. And so then I'm going to plug in the -2, the 3/2, and then a -4. Again, you can use these or those for your two x and y points there, okay? And it will still work in the end. And the homework program will be fine understanding all that. And whenever you're doing this with the two negatives, they make a positive. And this is actually what the homework program's wanting from you. So in the program, you go in, you type it just like that. You definitely need to simplify a little bit, but not too much. So that's your part A. And then part B, we got to keep going, basically. So distribute your fraction 3/2. So we got 3/2 x. And then we got the 4 and the 2 actually cancel, make a 2 in the top. 2 and 3 make a 6. Minus the 2 on both sides. So 3/2 x plus 4. And that's your part B final answer, okay? This was not one of the answers, but we needed to use it to be able to figure out all this other stuff. Okay, so the next one, number 4. So this is a very simple problem to get started with. It says, using this, what's your slope? Well, this is an M, and this is your B, and they're wanting M, and they're wanting B. So you put a 2, and you put a 5, and that's it. Very simple. Now we got to graph it. But this is not very hard. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to put my y-intercept down right there. I kind of like to think of it, this is a y-intercept, yes. But I like to think of it kind of like where I'm going to start my graph, okay? I always start with that. Now, your m is your slope, but we also know slope is rise over run. And so that 2 is technically 2 over 1. So I'm rising 2, running 1. So I go up 2 over 1, and there's your other point. Connect the dots, and there you go. So depending on the problem in your homework, you'll either multiple choice it, or maybe you could even graph it on the program itself. Depends, but there we go. Not too bad. Let's do another one like that, and I'm going to try to actually make it bigger because I think I made that graph too small. So I'm going to let me just do this here. Let me just imagine it being bigger than what I started with here. Okay, there we go. A little bit bigger. So that way you can see more detail. So my -8 is where I'm going to start. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, -8. And there's my start right there. Let's use a different color for the actual graph. This is a blue. That's good enough. Okay. And then my rise over run, this is my slope right here. Again, this is my y-intercept on that side. We just used it. My slope is the 3/5, so I'm going to rise 3 and run 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here we go with the blue. I'm going to go up. I'm going to go up 3. So 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to go 5 over, which kind of already designated for me. There's my new point. Now, I don't want to have that line stuck there, so if you don't mind, I'm just going to and erase it here real quick. I have to make the erase sound. Okay, hold on. Here we go. All right, and then I just connect these two. Oh, I want to connect these two lines together. It's way easier to do on paper than my little drawing tablet I'm using. Yeah, but we're not getting into that in the lecture here, so here we go. Ta-da, you're done. So not too bad. That's what it looks like. Next problem. All right. So here they want to graph these two strange ones. They are very strange. Not hard, just strange. Notice that you have no slope here. Y equals 7 just means you go up to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there you go. Not hard. There's your graph. Keep cruising. For the 3, we go 1, 2, 3 for x. See, x equals 3. That's x equals 3, isn't it? And it doesn't say what y it is, so it's all y's. And, well, there you go. That's an undefined slope. But again, you're able to just find that. That's the answer. It's not wrong. You could even draw these, graph these on Desmos, and to verify, just to make sure that, hey, is it doing right? And Desmos will work with that. It will understand it. All right, another one. But this one is a little bit more lengthy. As you can see, it's not in a good format for us, so we've got to do a little bit of math. In order to do that, first off, I'm going to want to get y by itself. So I'm going to minus the 7x over here. and I'm going to add the 56 to the other side. And so I got 8y is equal to negative 7x plus 56. I'm going to divide by 8 on both sides. So y is equal to negative 7/8 x. Notice that both of these will get the 8. So this one gets an 8 and that one gets an 8. And so that one just, it doesn't simplify. You just leave it the way it is. But 56 over 8, I believe, is 7. Let's just double check. Yes. Just verifying. That's a plain old positive 7. So this is the actual one that we're going to be working with. And you can now actually just put in your answer. So what's your slope? Negative 7/8. What's your y-intercept? 7. And then your graph. So again, I'm going to start at 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Put a point. And now I'm going to actually fall 7. It's rise over run, yeah? Rise over run. Negative 7 over 8. I'm going to rise negative 7. Well, basically that's falling. And then I'm going to run 8. So I fall 7, which brings us back to the line here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you connect the dots. There you go. And isn't that a negative slope anyways? Like what we had talked about earlier. So that confirms that our negative slope makes sense there. And for the last problem we have here. So there's a couple, I don't know if I'd call them word problems, but they are certainly not as simplistic, I guess, as the other things we've seen. And this is a good classic example of what's going on. So they give me these 2 points here, which is not too bad. And they say for this. And so, I mean, first off, we need to find our slope. And so I'm going to do 19 minus the 30 over 16 minus the 4. And so there we got a negative 11 over 12. Cool. And so then I need to find my line equation. So y minus y1, mx minus x1. And so I'm going to just use this one, I guess, because it doesn't really matter, whichever one you want. Negative 11 over 12, then x minus the 4. And they do not want you to simplify. See, there's the first one is like what we've seen earlier. Don't simplify, and then this one's a more simplified stuff. So this technically should be the answer. Problem is that the homework program does not like it. It says, nope, you're wrong. And so it actually is, it's not really wrong, but we need to understand what the homework program's wanting here. They want decimals. So there's a little verbiage down here. It says blah, 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 decimals. And they want it to 1 decimal place, I think is what it is. And so we're really close to the answer here, but that a negative 11 over 12 was actually too good. They want decimals for that. So definitely use a calculator. And I got a negative 0.9 is 1 decimal place for that. So a negative 0.9. Everything else is a whole number, so you could just stay. That is what they want for part A. And so we have to just know that we need to read the fine print once in a while. And this is one of those problems where you got to do it. Okay, what I want to do for part B is I want to simplify this. And again, using decimals basically the entire way. Let me rewrite it right quick so I can start drawing all over it. Okay, so first off, distribute. It's supposed to be a y. Y minus 30, negative 0.9x. And then 2 negatives are going to make a positive. Again, use your calculator here. 4 times 0.9 is 3.6. Okay, and then I'm going to add the 30 on both sides. And so then I got negative 0.9x and then plus 33.6 is what they want for the other one. Now, this is where it's a little bit different because, again, it's wrong. But why? It's because they're wanting this only this time. They want you to just type in the, I guess, function side of things because they don't have y equals. They actually say f of x equals like right here, basically. Very picky format, so watch out for that. Decimals and formatting issues and all kind of stuff. It just really throws us off, okay? The last one's relatively easy now. We're going to use this right here and predict what's going on in 2015. So y is a percentage, and that's why they have a percentage for your answer here. And x is years after 2003. So I have 2025. Well, actually, I went from 2003 to 2025. How much x did I travel? How much time did I travel here? And it was 22 years. And you can use a calculator just to verify. So x equals 22. I'm going to plug that in right there and get my final answer. So you do 22 and 33.6. Again, decimals are good, finally. So negative 0.9 times 22 plus 33.6. And I got 13.8. And again, that's a percentage. You just leave it alone. You don't move the decimal place over. It's not 0.138, nothing like that. Just leave it the way it is. We're good to go. That's all there is. All right. That's all I got. Thank you very much. Have a great day.